Today we're going to talk about how to teach your dog to do some of the basic obedience behaviors and then show you how that's going to be utilized in regular life and in all the fun things that you can do with your dog. So to start out, we've got our two puppies out here. They're both about 6 months old. And they're going to start off with some of the good behaviors that we teach all of our dogs. The first one is walking on a leash. So you'll notice the handlers have some treats and they're rewarding the dogs for coming towards them. So they're learning the best place to be is near their handler. Anytime the puppy goes to leave them, they're going to lure them back and then reward them when they stick with a handler. We're also showing you a little bit of leave it, teaching the puppies that if there's something on the ground, it's not something they should pick up. So if the puppy goes towards the item, the handler's going to lure the puppy back and then reward the puppy when the puppy stays near them. And you can see now, Ivy was doing such a good job. She managed to ignore 2 of the toys, but then the last one kind of got her. So Diane helped her there. And then she can walk by them again, and the puppy's starting to learn. This is important because you don't want your puppy eating your socks and stealing your slippers and running away with the Kleenex. But it's something that we have to teach them. The next thing we teach all of our dogs and puppies is some basic obedience commands. And that all starts with teaching them to sit. So you'll see our handlers luring their puppies with a cookie and guiding them gently with the leash and their hands into a sitting position. Very important that they're getting the cookie when they're sitting, so they're starting to associate that position with getting rewarded. So it's a positive thing for them to do. So many times our dogs get into trouble, not because we didn't teach them what not to do, but rather because we didn't teach them what to do. Once we've taught them to sit, we also teach them to down. So we're going to use a cookie, and we're going to lure their nose towards their toes. We don't want to force them into a down position, or they're going to resist us. So we stick a cookie on their nose, we lure them down, and we gently guide with our hands in the leash. Once they're in the down position, that's when they get the reward. So again, they're starting to make that positive association between doing the thing we want them to do and getting rewarded for it. Once they're good with their sit, we can start to teach them to stay put when they sit. So for that, we like to use a little platform. And what that does is it helps them to understand what we want them to do. So you'll see the puppies coming up and being guided onto their platform. Once they're there, we tell them to wait or stay. And then in the beginning, we stand right in front of them. We do some rewarding while they're in position. And as they get better at it, we can get a little bit further away. If they get off their platform, we step in and guide them back onto it. What's nice about the platform is it's very black and white. Either they're sitting on it or they're not. And what you'll start to see is after a while, the puppy runs over and sits on the platform because guess what? That's a really good place to be. I've got lots of treats there, so why wouldn't I want to go there? We also use a mat for teaching a down step. And I particularly like to use a mat because it's really portable. So I can take my dog anywhere, roll out my little mat, and have my dog go, oh, I understand what you want. You want me to lay on my mat. So when summer eventually comes, and you want to have lunch at a nice outdoor cafe, and you'd like your dog to lay nicely at your feet, you can bring your mat with you and have your dog lay quietly while you eat your meal. You can also use it at home while you're working at your desk. having a meal, having company over. You'll see a little later in our demonstration how we put that to use, and you might even see some of the dogs who are waiting their turns lying on a mat off on the side. The next thing every dog needs to learn is coming when called. That's a lifesaver. A dog who doesn't understand to come when called is going to have a big problem. So here, first you'll see us doing a restrained recall. And what the restrained recall does. What the restrained recall does is it creates desire in the puppy to come to their handler. Dogs love to play chase. And it's a really bad idea when we're chasing them, because that's a game we can't win. But we like it when they chase us, and then we reward them when they catch us. Once the puppies are good at that, then we start to show them that even if you're not paying attention to your person, when you hear that magic word, that 911 emergency word, come, you have to stop what you're doing and come back to your handler. Okay, so you'll see them happily running to their owners. They get a treat, they get petted, they get praised. They learn that's a really, really good thing to do. We like to use a longer leash, just put it here. We like to use a longer leash or retractable leash so we can get a little bit further away. Because I know you all know that the further away the dog is from you, the less well they hear you, because they're busy doing their own thing. Another important skill is having the dogs learn to nicely greet a person. So instead of having them jump all over the person,
I'm screen recording our performance off the YouTube of the live stream.
We can use some treats.
That's
we can gently help the dog with our hands and the leash and collar. And the handler is the one who rewards the dog. So it's not.
I'm playing the live stream on my computer and recording it off of that, so that I have just our performance. Because the live stream is a whole
really
day.
helpful, because again, we don't want to focus on the things we don't want the dog to do. We want to focus on the things we do want the dog to do. In our next section, you'll see how we utilize some of those skills in everyday life to do the things all good dogs need to do.
Half a pizza.
Okay, on our next exercise, what we're going to see is a dog walking on a loose leash. This is very important to teach your dog, because when you're walking along the street, you don't want your dog pulling you and dragging you down the street for a couple of reasons. First of all, one reason is because it's not good for the dog. It ends up hurting his neck and shoulders. And the other reason, which is sometimes more important, is it hurts you. Especially with all this snow and ice, the last thing you want is a dog jerking you down and making you fall. But it's really nice to be able to walk 3 dogs without having them pulling and yanking and really being bad. It also helps when you're walking, that it's mentally stimulating, that they're able to walk. It makes it pleasant for you, it makes it pleasant for the dog. So there's a better chance that you're more likely to go and explore different areas with your dog because he's walking so nicely on the leash. And it also enhances the bonding with your dog because he's relaxed, you're relaxed, and you're not having a power struggle. So get out there and teach your dogs how to walk nice on a leash and enjoy your walks.
Okay, the next thing we're going to show you is how we utilize our sit and downstay behaviors. The first one we're going to do is using our sit stay when we feed our dogs. So you'll see Barb is going to take her food bowl and she's going to place it out after telling Liza to wait.
You're fine.
And Liza's going to sit and wait to be released for her food. This is one of my favorite exercises because it's something you can easily do with your dog every time you feed them. You practice this twice a day, every day. Your dog will become really good at it.
Somewhere that wasn't.
Like anything else. Now, Sue's going to place Maggie's bowl out. And then release her to her bowl. So that's a really fun and easy way to do it. Next, you'll see Colleen sitting in her chair, and she might be eating lunch, she might be answering her emails, and Chloe is very happily and comfortably lying on her mat. As I said before, you can bring your mat with you wherever you go, and you'll have a way to make your dog comfortable and for them to understand what it is you want them to do. So that's a super helpful one. Another use for the mat is most dogs, what happens when the doorbell rings? The dogs go crazy. So instead, what we like is to teach a better behavior. We're going to see Allie run to her bed when the doorbell rings. So how much better would that be? Jump up and down and mob your guests at the door, and then you have to worry about them escaping. Another easy behavior to teach to your dog.
Okay, so now, one of the other things you want to teach your dog is coming when called. Now this is a really, really hard exercise. I feel it's the rocket science of dog training because it really is difficult. There's a lot of different distractions out there that are more important than you. You know, to go sniffing, go chase that squirrel, go chase that deer, but you really want to teach them to come when called. When you do that, it prevents you having an accident or injuries. And all these dogs right now are playing with their owners or just going out, checking things out. But yet, when the owner calls them, no matter how much more fun it would be to go sniff something over here, they're coming to their owner. So it prevents them from chasing other animals or disturbing other people. It's a great exercise, and you really need to do it. If you're going to go and do anything off-lead, make sure if you're out hiking or whatever, do not take your dog off lead until you're absolutely positively sure he will come to you. You need to practice with the frequency as you saw us doing before and things like that. But a reliable recall, you'll have much more enjoyment and freedom when you're playing with your dog. So it's a good thing to teach, and once you have it down, it's a lot more fun.
Okay, another application of teaching your dog how to greet people responsibly is the test that's part of the AKC's Canine Good Citizen Test, which is something I recommend that you take a look at because it's a great gauge of whether your dog has the basic skills. Here you'll see Colleen and Kathy walking up and having a polite interaction while their dogs just sit quietly and ignore each other. It's a great way to demonstrate that your dog is under control around people and dogs. Another useful application of teaching your dog how to be touched and petted and interact with other people, and one that your veterinarian will thank you for, is teaching your dog how to be examined by the vet. Going to the vet is stressful enough. If your dog doesn't understand and isn't comfortable having their teeth looked at, having their ears looked in, having their feet picked up, being touched all over, it's a very stressful experience for everyone, for the dog, for you, and for the veterinarian as well. Here we have Caitlin, a veterinary student, being our veterinarian for the day. Again, your vet will thank you very much for getting your dog comfortable with being touched and petted. up their stuff for you. Okay, so on this side, we have Sue, whose dog is going to retrieve some cold weather items. She's got a hat, a scarf, and a glove. On this side, we have Kathy, and her dog, Willie, is going to retrieve some warm weather items, a flip-flop, a sunscreen, and her sunglasses. Okay, let's see some retrieving. It's really useful when your dog will pick up anything that you want them to bring you. If I drop my pen at home, I can point to it and have my dog pick it up for me, so I don't have to do it. It's also an essential quality for service dogs. Service dogs can be trained to do so many things for their owners, including usefully picking up all sorts of items. Oops, trying not to scratch her sunglasses. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather be using Kathy and Willie's items right now than Sue and Maggie's, but we're stuck in the winter at the moment. Next up, we're going to talk about obedience competition.
Okay. In all levels of obedience competition, we have a judge in the ring who is going to call the patterns for the dogs. At the novice level, the dogs will be on lead when they're heeling, but at the open and utility levels, the dogs are off lead. I'm going to hand this off to Barb, our judge, and she's going to call a heeling pattern for these dogs.
Are you ready? Forward. Left turn. Hold. Forward. About turn. Left. Normal. Right turn. About turn. Halt. Exercise finished.
Next, we're going to have 2 pairs of dogs and handlers that are going to complete the figure 8 exercise. In a regular KC obedience ring, you would not see a dog as a post, but we wanted to put our dogs to the ultimate challenge today. And we're going to have Maggie and Sue, and we're going to have Linda and Lita competing a figure 8 at the judge's discretion.
Are you ready? Forward. Halt. Forward. Halt. Exercise finished. Pinwheel. In the pinwheel, we're going to see an example of dogs and handlers heel. Dogs will remain at their handler's left side. Forward. Look at them doing an awesome job staying in line. They look like the Radio City Rock Cats, except even better because they have dogs. This requires exceptional attention from the dogs. About turn. Forward. You'll see the handlers on the inside have to move very slowly, and the handlers on the outside are almost jogging to maintain position. It's especially hard with a giant pillar in the middle, so you can't see your opposing dog. Exercise finished. Moving down will be next.
And next you're going to see and dogs perform a moving down exercise. And for the added challenge for your enjoyment, the dogs will be doing it at different positions within the ring. Notice how each dog must stay in their designated position until their handler returns and then eventually releases them. We'll start with the back dogs, move forward, meet up with the others, and end at the end of the ring. Exercise finished. We have a big hand for everybody, please. Command dominoes is what we're doing next. Okay, we're going to make good use of our pole at this point. Our handlers are going to arrange themselves around the center pole, and they're going to do a series of exercises with their dog, including a stand, a down, and a sit. They'll leave their dogs, return their dogs, and at all times the dog's supposed to pay attention to his or her own handler. As you're looking around the ring, you can see that many different breeds are representative from different groups within the AKC. We have a Kelpie, we have a miniature poodle, a couple of Labrador retrievers, an Australian shepherd, and a Brittany. All of these dogs have advanced titles in one or more venues within the AKC. Handlers, circle the pole, please. Return to your dog's position. Return. Exercise finished. Another big hand, please, for our most impressive dogs in here. Next, we'll be having a gauntlet. This will be quite the challenge for our dogs because some of the dogs will be in a stay position with the very distracting activity of having another dog run through the gauntlet and even do a drop. Okay, handlers, leave your dogs. Okay, first we're going to have Barb run down and eventually call her Kelpie Allie. She gives Allie a hand signal for Allie to drop and then a return hand signal. Excellent, nice job Barb and Allie. Next we're going to have Willie with Kathy perform the same exercise, and please notice how well our other dogs are sitting to form a gauntlet. Should we call him? Drop him? Boy, is that a speedy dog or what? Call your dogs. And the dogs return to your position. Again, a nice hand for our large group of dogs and handlers here. Okay, next we're going to have our dogs retrieve an object. And because we're in the Big Apple, we thought it would be super cute to bring some small apples for these dogs to retrieve. Okay. Some of with their apples. All right, handlers, place your apples. Leave your dogs. Forward. Oh, with your dogs. I'm so sorry. Okay, now again, these dogs will be challenged by not all going at the same time. Okay, first handler, send your dog. Kenzie really likes Lita's apple. Let's see if Lita likes Kenzie's apple. Oh, they are such good dogs. All right, now Brooke, the golden retriever, is going to go get her apple. Sue's going to send Maggie, the golden retriever, or Labrador retriever. Now comes Chloe the poodle. She's a speedy girl. And Mark sends Allie the goat. All right, everyone finished, please? All right, thank you all for a great audience. All right, next, we're going to have a relay race, so we want some cheering from our audience. We're going to have 4 dogs in quadrant 1 and 4 dogs in quadrant 3. The rules here are simple. The handler must send the dogs one at a time to retrieve their dumbbell, and when they return, the dog must be on a down stay to be the qualifying team to win. We have the gold team over, purple team over here. Let's say cheer for your favorite team. On your mark, get set, go. All right, let's see. Is it the golds or is it the purples? Who's going to win? Maybe you're cheering for your favorite breed of dog. Maybe you're cheering for your favorite color. Oh, it looks like the golds have taken it. That's 2 for them today. All right, next we're going to do articles. We're going to ask for a little bit of audience participation in this. We're going to have 4 teams of handlers and stewards in the room. The steward is going to have a bag of articles, and the handler needs to select one article and send it. Today, we're going to have an audience member select that article. So as the stewards come around, they'll pick somebody to pick an article. Okay, they'll return the article to the handler. The handler will impart their send on it. So whatever quadrant you're in, pay attention to which article is going out when the steward puts it back. Handlers, hold up your articles once you've sent them. And stewards, place your articles on the ground for the remaining articles. Notice the dogs are facing away from the articles. They have no idea where the steward is going to place them within the pile. All right, everybody, have you paid attention to where that article is within the pile in your area? Right, handlers, send your dogs. Hey, pay attention, are they getting the right one? Looks like Adam has, looks like Lily has, and Rita and Maggie were a tie there, winning in theirs. Nice job, people. This is something you can do with your own dogs at home also. owner that there is. There's so much you can do with your dog. So obedience training is definitely the answer.
Okay, next we're going to see the event called Conformation. This is typically what is referred to as a dog show event. Conformation is a competition where purebred dogs are evaluated against their specific breed standards. The evaluation is based on movement, temperament, and structure. As you can see, these dogs need to have basic obedience skills. They're all standing so that the judge can do a visual evaluation. And now they are trotting on a lead at their handler's left side. Good. So now they have to stand and accept the judge touching them. She's going to run her hands over their body, check their teeth. So the dogs have to allow the judge to touch them and not interact with the judge, remain focused on their handler. The purpose of a conformation event is to select dogs for breeding. So conformation dogs are not mixed breed or altered, meaning spayed or neutered. This is Kai. He's a 7-year-old Belgian Malinois. He is a breed champion, and he also has a Companion Dog Excellence Obedience title. So not only is he a handsome boy, he's also quite smart. The next dog up, this is Liza. She's an Australian Shepherd, and she is 2 years old, and she's just beginning her breed and obedience career. Her handler, Barbara, is training her in obedience, taking classes with her. Good. And there goes Liza. Look how nice she walks on her lead. Good girl. In the conformation ring, the handlers are allowed to use food. It's called baiting, so that they can hold the dog's gaze and attention so they stand still for the visual evaluation by the judge. Last but not least, we have Kenzie. She is a Labrador Retriever. She also has her championship, and she has a high-level obedience title called the Utility Dog title. So beauty and brains in one package. As you can see, these dogs are all focused on their handler. They need to be accustomed to being around other dogs. So they're not trying to interact or play. They realize that they have a job to do today. Nice job there, Kenzie. Good. All right, now the judge is giving them a final look. They're posing them. They have to stand still. Showing their best side. So this is what you're going to see on on Monday and Tuesday at Westminster here, and also at the Garden will be a confirmation event. Yay, and everyone is a winner today.
Okay, next up we're going to talk about agility, which is what's going on over there in those two rings today. And if you've had a chance to watch some of the agility competition, I'm sure it's clear to you that those dogs need to be trained. It's a very exciting environment, and the dogs need to listen and be under control. So the first thing you'll see is Bart walking through Dog Alley out here on lead. We're required to come in and out of the ring under control on a leash. The next thing you'll see is a good sit or down stay while the handler leads out. That's a tremendous advantage for the handler to be able to position herself wherever she needs to be to communicate the right information to the dog. You'll also see that sometimes Barb sends Allie onward to the next thing. Sometimes she tells her to turn and come towards her. So having a super recall is also really important. Next we have Julia and Tara the Brittany. Again, coming in nicely, under control, and they are also required to leave the ring under control on the leash for safety purposes. Again, there was duck herding in here earlier, so our sporting dogs are a little bit distracted by the smell of ducks. So she gets her lead out advantage, she heads out, and she's able to get ahead of the dog, and again, she's able to send the dog, and she's also able to turn the dog tight and have the dog come to her. Great job for both of our agility dogs. Hopefully that'll help you understand a little bit more when you go over and watch agility. But again, obedience is the foundation for being able to pursue all these wonderful other opportunities that we have to compete with our dogs. Next up, we have...
We'll now see how obedience training assists the dog that's going to be your hunting companion or compete in AKC hunt tests. The demonstration you'll be seeing is based on the AKC retriever hunt tests. We're going to have Maggie, the yellow lab with Sue on ring, for Linda and Lita. We'll be doing a series of blind reads. Lita has her AKC senior hunter title and she's currently working on her master. These ducks that are very adorable that she's retrieving are called dokens, so they're used for training retrievers. Next, she's going to do a blind retrieve with bumpers. It's very interesting that they use orange bumpers because dogs cannot easily differentiate between orange and green, but handlers can. The dog must stop when she whistles and wait for her command. She's now sending her to a different color. Poor Lita's wondering why they put a pole in the middle of her field. And now she has to remember the other one and go for that. This takes a high level of training for this dog as well as great natural instincts. Again, there's a reason to select the purebred dog that you select. Each dog was bred for the purpose of something that should fit your lifestyle when you pick the right breed.
Okay, another thing that dogs are trained for is to help us as service dogs and therapy dogs. So in this area, you'll see Janet walking with a cane, and and Julia walking the walker, and their dogs walking very nicely by their side. Obviously, if you have to negotiate with an aid like a walker or cane, having your dog well trained is especially important. It's also really helpful for service dogs to be able to pick up various items and perform other tasks like open and close doors, turn light switches on and off, and retrieve helpful items like the phone or the remote control. At home, you can teach your dog to retrieve all those items and have fun with it as well. Another application is therapy work. So Colleen is being our patient for today, and Willie is coming up to do his therapy visit. You can see that Willie enjoys it. He sits quietly so Colleen is happy. If you train your dog well, therapy work is a very rewarding thing that you can do with your dog. It truly puts some good in everyone's day. Next is another place you may have seen dogs working, and that's at the airport. So here we have Pilot being our detection dog at the airport. He's going to walk up and check the luggage. Maybe he's looking for agricultural products, maybe he's looking for drugs or other contraband or explosives. Dogs perform a huge service in doing that. So he's checking everything. Oh, our handler's asking this person to please put her bag down and allow it to be searched. So we're going to have Pilot search it. Oh my, he's definitely alerted on that bag. We better see what's in it. Oh, thank God it was just a milk bone. Nothing bad. So that's one of many ways that trained dogs can serve to help us in our everyday life and the things that we do, and also all the dog sports that you can participate in. To cap off our little celebration of obedience training, we're going to have a little graduation ceremony and acknowledge each of our dogs and handlers. Caitlin, our vet, is going to be handing out diplomas, and we're going to show you some fun tricks while we do that. First up is Sue and Maggie. They're doing some fantastic leg weaves, and Maggie's wearing her hat, and she's very happy about that. Getting her diploma, and off they go. Next we have Colleen and Chloe, the mini poodle. She's going to do some fancy backing up for us. And again, she loves to wear her hat. Go figure. And she looks stunning in it, don't you think? Good girl, Chloe. They're going to hop up with a little assistance and receive their diploma as well. Next up, we have Kathy and Willie, the Australian Shepherd. They're going to do some circling and going through the legs. And you can see as the dogs do their tricks, how much they enjoy doing them. It's a fun thing that everybody can do with their dog. The American Kennel Club actually has trick tests, which you can even do virtually online. And it's a great and fun, rewarding thing that even children can do. Next we have Nancy and Kenzie, the Labrador Retriever. She's showing us her boing. And then she's going to hop up and get her diploma as well. Next is Barb and Liza, the Australian Shepherd. Not thrilled about wearing her hat, but she's learning to love it. She's going to do some paw for us. That's a great one. So when you meet people, instead of your dog jumping all over them, they can do a fun trick instead. Next up, we have Janet and Pilot, the Belgian Malinois. He likes to wear his hat a little bit jauntily, like a beret. And he's showing us his speak. Bark on command. We don't want them to bark when we don't tell them, but we do like them to bark when we tell them to bark. And he's going to carry off his diploma, and he's very happy about that. Next up, we have Barb and Allie, the Kelpie, and they're also doing some fantastic leg weaves. And then they're going to hop up, and Allie's going to carry off her diploma. Yay, Allie. After the performance, if you want Diane and Brooke to do their sit pretty so you can get a photo, I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. Next, we have Julia and Tara, the Brittany, and they're going to do some sidestepping. That's a fancy move that we actually use in rally competition as well. And finally, my name is Linda. This is Lita. Lita, fetch. And Lita's going to come up and do her wave for us. Lita, sit. Sit. Wave. Get wave with an apple in your mouth. Wave. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed our demo. We're going to be cleaning up for a while. If you have questions or want to meet with us, please stick around and we'll be happy to oblige. A herding demo is going to follow.